Hi guys, we're going to look at solving two-step equations. This is something that we did do before March break quite a bit. These ones we're going to look at are also going to have integers. So some of the answers and some of the numbers in the question could be negatives. So the first one is just a review of what we've done before, earlier in the course. 2x minus 5 equals 21. So you'll probably remember, I think most of us were drawing that dotted line right down from the equal sign to show the two sides of your equation. And now we always want to look at opposite operations. So that's our first rule. And we first undo the addition or subtraction. And our second step is to undo multiplication or division. So in this question, number 1 here, we have 2x minus 5 equals 21. We want to undo the addition or subtraction, so this minus 5. And the way we undo the subtraction is by saying plus 5. So we have to keep this balanced. We're going to add 5 to both sides. And now we have our 2x. The minus 5 and plus 5 cancel each other out. Those are opposite operations, so that's gone. Equals, and 21 plus 5 is 26. Then we want to undo the operation between the 2 and the x. And between the 2 and the x, that's a multiplication. So we would divide both sides by 2. Those will cancel out because multiply by 2 and divide by 2 are opposite operations. And we get x equals 13, which is the 26 divided by 2. The next question looks really similar, and it is quite similar to other ones that we've looked at. But now you'll notice we have 3a plus 2. That part seems the same, but that's equal to negative 4. So what I really want you to look at here is how to calculate these using the integers, either using your integer operations that you learned in grade 7 and 8, or by knowing how to use your integer button on your calculator. So again, I'm going to put that dotted line down here. And the first step is to undo the addition or subtraction. So that's my plus 2. So the opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. And I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. So here I have 3a still. Now I have negative 4 minus 2. And I'm going to put my calculator under the camera here just to talk about how to type this in. Sometimes people get mixed up, and this is my calculator, but you might have a different kind. People can get mixed up here with how to type this in. So again, let's just move this off to the side. I have negative 4 and then minus 2. So to type in that negative 4, different calculators will do this differently. You want to look for a button similar to that with that minus, or another one that I'll show you in a minute. So on this calculator, I type in negative, that negative sign button. It's different than the subtraction button. Negative 4, and then I'm subtracting, so I'm going to use my minus button over with the plus and the multiply and divide. So minus 2, and that gives me negative 6. So I have 3a equals negative 6. Okay, I have two different calculators here. I'm going to show you that same thing with a different calculator. This one, the integer button, the plus minus button, is this one here. So my one calculator had a button that looked like this with a negative sign in a bracket. My other calculator has a button that looks like this with a positive and a negative. Okay, you will have to try this out on your own calculator, but here where I've got negative 4 minus 2, sometimes you have to type in the number first. So on my other calculator, the pink one, I had to type the negative and then the 4. This calculator, I have to put the 4 first, then put the negative, and you'll see the negative sign come up over there. So you'll have to experiment with the calculator you have to see which way that works. So we want -4 and then -2. I also get -6. So sometimes the negative might come up on the far left of your screen. Okay. So back to here, we've got the same steps. I have 3 times A is -6. So the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. And then A equals, now I have to figure out how to do -6 divided by 3. Going back to my pink calculator, if you have one that looks like this, I'm going to type in the negative down here, 6 divided by 3, and that gives me an answer of -2. Remember with the other calculator, and again, you guys will have to try this on your own calculator to see which way works best. So -6 divided by 3, here I have to put the 6 first, then this plus minus button. And you see the negative that comes up over there. And then divided by 3 equals -2. So either way, I get the same answer. Please try this question using your calculator to see which way that works. Going to do one last example. So here, -5m minus 2 equals -27. So same kind of idea. I'm going to put the dotted line down the middle to keep them separate. And now I have a -2. So the opposite, undoing the addition and subtraction first, would be adding 2 to both sides. So now I have -5m equals -27 plus 2. I'm going to use my calculator to check, but -27 plus 2 is -25. So please actually try that one on your calculator to make sure you know how to type that in. Now, when I'm dividing, I don't just have a regular positive number with my variable. I've got a -5 there. So I have to divide both sides by the -5. And here, when you do a -25 divided by -5, we're going to look at this more next week, but or more later in the week, but that's going to give us a positive number. So that's +5. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense and is just kind of a continuation of the sort of solving equations that we've looked at earlier in the course. Now, some of our answers will have negative numbers and some of the questions will have negative numbers as well. If you have questions about your actual calculator, absolutely please let us know. Okay, thanks guys.